You are sitting at a dinner table with 9 other people. Maybe it is a family gathering in Diwali season. Maybe it is an office lunch, a friend's wedding reception, doesn't matter. You look around. 10 people total. Statistically speaking, out of those 10 people, 9 of them are struggling with money in ways they don't even fully understand yet. 9 of them have less than 1 month of savings in their bank account. 9 of them are one hospital bill, one job loss, one unexpected repair away from complete financial chaos. 9 of them will either retire broke, retire dependent on their children, or not retire at all. But one of them, just one, is quietly winning, quietly building, quietly compounding their way to a completely different life. Are you that one person? Or do you just think you are? Because here is the uncomfortable truth that most finance channels in India will not tell you. The gap between average and above average with money is not about income. It is not about luck. It is not about which city you were born in or what your parents did. It is about a very specific set of behaviors and habits that separate the people who will thrive from the people who will spend the rest of their lives wondering where all the money went. Today, 10 signs that you are genuinely, statistically, shockingly above average with money in India, backed by real data. Some of this will surprise you. Some might even offend you. But all of it will be honest. If you hit 7 or more, you are in rare territory. Let's find out where you actually stand. Sign number 1. You have more than 3 months of expenses saved as an emergency fund. India's household financial savings rate fell to just 5.3% of GDP in 2023 to 24, according to the Reserve Bank of India, the lowest in over 2 decades. Not because Indians stopped earning, because they started borrowing more, spending more, and keeping almost nothing accessible. The practical reality? If a medical emergency hits, if the job disappears tomorrow, most Indian families are reaching for a personal loan, calling a relative, or raiding their EPF. The buffer simply does not exist. 3 months of expenses. That is the minimum bar for basic financial safety. Not wealth, not investment, just the ability to survive a crisis without going into debt. If you have that sitting in a liquid fund or savings account right now, accessible, not invested, you are already ahead of the overwhelming majority of Indian households. Most people treat an emergency fund like a goal for someday. You treat it like the foundation it actually is. Sign number 2. You are investing before you feel ready. Here is the lie that keeps millions of Indians financially stagnant. I will start a SIP once I earn a bit more. It sounds responsible, but what it actually means is I will start investing never. The data: only 3% of India's population invest in the stock market directly. Only 6% invest in mutual funds, despite the fact that a SIP starts at just 500 rupees a month. Mutual fund penetration in India is 20%. The global average is 74%. Out of every 10 people you know, 8 of them have 0 rupees in any market-linked instrument. And within the small group that does invest, most started in the 30s or 40s, which means they already gave away the most powerful decade of compounding they will ever have. If you are investing right now, even 500 rupees a month, you understand something most Indians don't. The amount matters far less than the habit. You're already doing the one thing that separates wealth builders from wealth watchers. Sign number 3. You know your net worth. Quick question. What is your net worth right now to the nearest 10,000 rupees? Can you answer that without opening 5 different apps for 20 minutes? Most Indians have a vague sense of what is in their salary account. They remember the home loan, EMI. They know roughly what they paid for the car. But total assets minus total liabilities, a single number. That is foreign to the majority. You cannot build what you cannot measure. The people who build real wealth track their net worth like a scoreboard and know exactly which moves are helping and which are hurting. The numbers are stark. Over 66% of the average Indian household's assets are locked in physical form, gold and real estate, according to RBI data. which means most people have a rough sense of what the house might be worth, but no real picture of their actual financial position. If you know your number and are tracking it deliberately, you're operating at a level of financial self awareness that most people in India will never reach. Sign number four. Your lifestyle has not inflated with every salary hike. This is the sign that takes out people with genuinely good incomes and still leaves them broke. Every time income goes up, new job, promotion, better project, the average Indian upgrades to match. Better phone, bigger flat, car, EMI they didn't really need, foreign holiday on a personal loan, wedding budget that doubles the original plan. And despite earning significantly more than 5 years ago, the savings rate stays at close to zero. The data is devastating. India's household savings fell from 11.7% to 5.2% of national income in just a few years, the lowest in 47 years. Not because salaries fell, because spending inflated faster than income. And India has a version of this that is uniquely painful. It is not just the bigger flat or the fancier phone, it is the family wedding funded with a personal loan, the festival spending on the credit card, the social pressure that arrives the moment anyone finds out you got a raise. If your savings rate, not the rupee amount, but the actual percentage, has grown alongside your income, you are doing something extraordinarily rare in India. You are choosing to let your wealth grow faster than your social image. Sign number five. You have more than one stream of income. The vast majority of Indian working adults rely on a single employer, one company, one salary, one point of failure. If that job disappears, and in India's private sector, that is never a remote possibility, with 11,000 startups shutting down in 2025 alone, everything stops. If you have any form of secondary income right now, freelance work, a rented property, dividend income, a small business, a monetized skill, you are building the kind of financial architecture most people only read about. You are reducing dependence on any single source and creating real options. Even 5,000 rupees a month from a second source changes your entire psychology around money. It changes how you think about risk. And those mental shifts compound just like money does. Sign number six. You use credit cards and pay them off in full every single month. Credit card outstanding dues in India have been growing 25 to 31% year on year. One third of Indian millennials and 40% of Gen Z are already dealing with unsustainable debt. The average credit card interest rate in India is between 36 and 42% per annum. Let that land. 36 to 42%. Carry just 50,000 rupees on a credit card for a year and you are handing the bank 18 to 21,000 rupees in interest alone. Permanently gone, building wealth for them, not you. If you use credit cards for the rewards and cashback and pay the full balance before the due date every single month, you're literally being paid to spend money you were going to spend anyway. You are using the same tool that is destroying most people's finances to actually build yours. That requires discipline and a real understanding of how interest works. Most Indians have neither. If you do, you are ahead. Sign number seven. You understand the difference between assets and liabilities. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. And most Indians spend their entire financial lives accumulating liabilities while calling them assets. The most Indian example, gold. Over 66% of household wealth in India sits in physical assets, gold and real estate. Gold passed down generations as financial security. But physical gold in a locker does not generate income. It has storage costs, making charges, and if bought as jewelry, significant value destroyed the moment you walk out of the shop. It is a liability dressed up in tradition. The same applies to the house you live in. The EMI, the maintenance, the property tax, all cash outflows every month. The house is not working for you. It is costing you. If you are actively acquiring real assets, index funds, equity mutual funds, rental property that generates rent, a business that generates cash flow. You think about money differently than the average Indian. You are not just earning, and spending. You're building a machine that works for you while you sleep. Sign number 8, you are not using YOLO as a financial strategy. There is an entire movement in India right now that dresses up poor financial decisions as living fully. You only live once. Money is not everything. Zindagi ek baar milti hai. The data is brutal. EPFO, NPS, and Atal Pension Yojana together cover less than 25% of India's workforce, one of the lowest pension coverage rates in the world, according to the Mercer CFA Institute Global Pension Index 2025. India ranks 45th out of 47 countries in pension adequacy. 45th out of 47, over 75% of India's working population has no formal retirement coverage at all. And it is not purely because the system failed them. A significant part of it is premature EPF withdrawals, zero investment discipline, and one YOLO decision at a time made over 20 years of earning. If you think about your future self as a real person, someone whose quality of life you are directly affecting with every financial choice you make today, you're operating at a level of awareness most people in India never develop. The sacrifices you make now have compound interest, just like the money you invest. Sign number 9, you have automated your finances. The best financial decisions are the ones you never have to make. Every time you actively choose to save, you are fighting your brain, your environment, social pressure, and the entire consumption economy simultaneously. Willpower is a terrible long-term financial strategy. The people who build real wealth in India have removed willpower from the equation. Their SIP goes out on the first of every month before they can see the money. The savings transfer happens the moment salary hits. The system runs in the background building wealth while they live their life. Think about how salary day works for most people. Salary hits, rent goes, phone bill, electricity. Then they plan to invest with whatever is left. And at the end of the month, after the Zomato orders, the weekend plans, the impulsive purchases, there is never anything left. If your SIP goes out automatically before you have touched the rest of the money, you have solved one of the hardest problems in personal finance. Most people are still fighting it manually and losing every single month. Sign number 10. You are actively investing in your own financial education. None of the previous 9 signs appear by accident. Nobody accidentally knows the difference between assets and liabilities. Nobody stumbles into automating a SIP or understanding how 30 years of compounding works. This knowledge has to be sought, learned, and applied. According to an OECD survey, only 27% of Indians are financially literate. That means nearly 3 in every 4 Indians cannot reliably answer basic questions about interest rates, inflation, and compound growth. The concepts that determine how every single financial decision in their life plays out. Only 27% in a country of 1.4 billion people. If you are here right now watching this, thinking critically about where you actually stand, every hour you spend genuinely learning about personal finance, about how money works in India, has a return on investment that most conventional investments cannot match. Because the knowledge does not just apply to one decision, it applies to every financial decision you will make for the rest of your life. All right, let's add it up. 0 to 3 signs. Significant work to do. Every one of these is learnable and achievable. The fact that you are watching this already puts you ahead of people who are not even asking the questions. 4 to 6 signs, you are in the mix. Strong habits in some places, real gaps in others. You already have momentum. Identify which signs you are missing and treat each one as a project with a deadline. 7 to 9 signs. You are genuinely above average. Not by a little, by a lot. Keep compounding. Keep learning. Do not get complacent. 10 out of 10. You either have your financial life together in a way that most Indians never will, or you were slightly generous with yourself. Either way, keep going. The game never ends. The variables just get larger. The difference between the person who builds real wealth in India and the person who doesn't is almost never intelligence, almost never income, almost never luck. It is over and over again. A set of small, consistent, boring, unsexy decisions made over a long period of time. Drop a comment below. How many did you hit? And which one was the wake up call? Subscribe to Shivani Talks Money for more real finance content every week. And if you want to know the common trap every Indian generation is falling into, go watch my next video right here. Take care of your money. See you in the next one.